Want to start? Because otherwise we are going to be out of time because we have a lot of content for you today. So let's go for the first one. So Alex.
So my name is Alex. I'm from Schwabe Group and I'm the Director of Global Digital Marketing. And with me is Buddy.
Yes, and I am the CEO and co-founder of OneX Internet. And we have been helping Schwabe now for the last couple of years to do this. And just very briefly about OneX Internet, if you haven't come to our booth where there's all kinds of stuff, win a shoe and do more. We are a team of 85 people. We have offices in Europe, in Frankfurt, Berlin, Reykjavik, and Conil in beautiful Andalusia here in Spain. And we, of course, have worked on many projects, mostly Drupal. We are more than 10 years in the game. And, of course, our most important client here today is obviously Schwabe, so they are always a little bit bigger on the... Always.
Yeah, then I will start talking about Dr. Willmar Schwabe. So who are we? What are we doing? We are a pharmaceutical company and we are focusing on plant-based pharmaceuticals, so-called phytomedicine. And our founder can be seen here on this picture. This is Willmar Schwabe. So the company was already founded in 1866. So we have a long company history, and no worries, we won't go through the whole history. But of course, this is a history that comes with a lot of innovation, a lot of products that have been launched during the years. And what is special, I think, is that our first phytomedicine that we had, called Hametum, is still on the market today in Germany. So quite impressive in this area. And as you can imagine, it's not all about just organic growth during a company history of 150 years. It's also about acquisition. So maybe some of you know the brand Nature's Way, which is quite known in USA, for example, for the food supplement business, vitamins, minerals. And when I'm speaking about USA, I also want to show you that we are really working globally. So we are a company that has subsidiaries in 15 countries worldwide, and we have a lot of partners and distributors who sell our products also globally. So our products are more or less available in about 60 markets, a bit more than 60 markets. Our global turnover is about 950 million per year. We have about 4,000 employees worldwide, so quite some people. And we are especially proud of that we are still a family-led company, as you can see here. So our CEO, Olaf Schwabe, runs the company, and so the whole family is really involved in the business still, which is super and really special, I would say, as well. What also stands out for Schwabe, or what we are really proud of, is that we own the whole production process. So from the plants that we grow in own plantations, for example, on the fields, then we do the extraction to get all the ingredients out of the plants, and then we are manufacturing the medicines or the phytopharmaceuticals in our German factory. So this is also quite special, because even if we sell a lot of products in China, for example, we produce the products in Germany and ship them to China instead of the other way around. Because a lot of other pharmaceutical companies, especially the big ones, are known for producing in Asia, bringing the final product to Europe, and we are doing more or less the opposite way. I don't want to go too much into detail, but I think it's also important to know, so we don't have an umbrella brand. Schwabe is more or less not known to end consumers, for example. Healthcare professionals, so like doctors or pharmacists, they know us well in the markets, but not the end consumer. So we really rely on single brands. We have this single brand strategy, which makes it quite difficult from time to time and challenging as well. Because if we have a lot of brands, and we talk about more than 10,000 of SKUs, I think it's also clear that this is a lot of a big task to manage all those products, for example. And as you can see, we are also covering different areas like mental health, stomach and digestive, cough and cold, and maybe you find one or two products on this slide that you already know, that you maybe have already used, like Caloba for cough and cold and others. Yeah, but now, as you know at least a bit about Schwabe, I want to dig deeper on the role of global digital marketing. So what are we doing? What am I doing the whole day? So our role, we have been established about 5 years ago. Before that, there was no global approach in the digital marketing area. We had 15 subsidiaries, each and every subsidiary working on their own. So the idea was to have this centralized approach, to have one department that really focuses on driving the digital transformation within Schwabe Group, and to really make sure to foster digital knowledge around the globe. To share knowledge, we've established best practice sharings, for example, to make sure that we all use the same KPIs, that we are talking the same language, and that we have the same mindset, and of course also a common strategy, because that wasn't there back then. And so we ended up by harmonizing a lot of tools as well, and I will come to this in 1 or 2 slides. And what is also important for us is to really establish some culture of experimentation, so that we really try out new things, that we support new approaches also in the countries, because we all want to learn and be quicker in the market. So the initial situation, as briefly touched already, when I have a look at the markets in 2020, for example, it was quite heterogeneous. We had markets with a lot of digital experience, with digital teams of 10 to 20 people, but other markets where we only had one digital manager in place covering everything, from websites, online media, social media, in some cases even apps. So you can imagine it's quite heterogeneous. Also the skill level in the team is heterogeneous. And each and every market worked on their own. So they had their own agencies, creative agencies, technical implementation partners. A lot of markets also relied on freelancers, setting up websites. So we ended up with a slew of different platforms, to be honest. Even in some markets, we had several platforms in place, like WordPress, Typo3, Joomla, and all the other CMS. Sometimes also CMS I've never heard of before, and not after again. So the idea was, how can we bring all of this together? How can we deal with this also lack of experience and lack of knowledge in some markets? And how can we deal also with budgets that aren't that big, especially in smaller markets? And the idea was to really standardize things and to harmonize also our tool set in the end. And that's what we did. So you might ask yourself if you need an appointment and check your eye view, but that's not the case. Since this is a brand new slide and we are still communicating it internally, we had to blur it a bit. But I think what's the most important here, and also connects to the topic that we want to share here, is that Drupal is really in the center or in the core of our MarTech stack. This is the visualization of our marketing technology stack. We split it in 5 different sections. So we have collaboration, everything that's connected to the websites, measurement, data management, or media and content. And as you can see, we really rely on Drupal here. We power all our Drupal approach with the tools of Acquia. For example, we use Site Factory to roll out the websites. We have Acquia DAM in place for the asset management. We've created our own PIM with the help of 1x Internet. This is also completely based on Drupal. So you see, this is really in the core of what we do. And by standardizing and harmonizing this whole stack, of course, we were able to be more efficient, save some costs in the long run. To have faster onboardings, to really be able to share knowledge within the group. If you train editors on one single platform, that's a huge advantage instead of training editors for several CMS out there. And we really cut down our time to market. I will show you in a minute which effect it had using Acquia Site Factory and the Drupal approach when it comes to setting up, spinning up new websites and handing it over to editors, for example. And of course, by establishing a platform like this, a lot of enterprise features came in. So we ensured quality. I think we hardened cybersecurity. And also we made sure that we have some data privacy measures in place that are the same for the entire group now. So I want to go to what we call our highlight, or what we also want to share today, which is our integrated content management stack. The content management stack is really a solution that consists of the best of breed tools that we decided we need to fulfill our needs, to have this seamless and efficient marketing approach, and to make sure that all those components really fit together and work together. So we have our Drupal CMS that is built on the Acquia Site Factory platform. We have connected Acquia DAM, so all the assets come directly out of the DAM, can be used in the back end of the CMS. And we have the PIM. The PIM gets a lot of data from different data sources like SAP, but also other data sources like an image database. So we have one product line where we have 10,000 products, so homeopathic products, which is quite difficult if you do it in a manual way. So we had to come up with solutions to integrate all the data from SAP, match it with other data sources, and then deliver it on the website to the consumer. So this is completely integrated. And we integrated also other tools like our SEO tool Conductor. So this was just done recently because there's a new module that was developed by Acquia and Conductor. And I think we are amongst the first who integrated it now in a live environment. And this also adds a lot of benefit to the editors. So we've all seen the keynote from Dries now, where he showed a lot of AI capabilities and how also SEO can be integrated as a recipe in the Drupal CMS. But this is just another approach to really connect what we already had in our tool stack, so the Conductor, CMS, and Acquia, bring it together and make it easier for an editor not to log into two different platforms, but to stay in the Drupal backend and get a lot of insights on how one could work with the content, how to improve the content, what are the questions to answer for Google, for example, what keywords to use, and stuff like that. And we also integrated our CRM. So our CRM is a development from our IT department. So it's nothing that you could just license out there. So it's the Schwabe CRM. But this made it also really easy because we have one code base now. We have the Drupal CMS. We have to connect it once with the CRM, and afterwards we can roll it out in all countries. So this is a huge benefit as well to really combine what we have and to harmonize this tech stack in the end.
Yeah,
you want to add something?
Maybe to the next one. So I think that Alex and his team, so what I think is great about this case, and we're going to go into the details, is that we often see like the big pharmaceutical companies or the big companies being on stage and talking about how they are doing this big multi-approach. And when Alex started with us doing this, he came with a vision. And he is probably one of the few clients we've had where actually they brought the vision into us. We didn't have to convince them of how they should do the future things. They had already like made a decision that things should have like, we need to offer, and that's what we talked about earlier, consistent brand and user experience, because this is all over the place. There needs to be an individuality, because every brand manager in every country, they are not just gonna do it the way one way to do it. We need to offer the different, individuality options and new features on each one of them. And then, of course, the goal was to increase awareness and visibility. And I think we go a little bit in the end also about the challenges of how to actually execute this, because each brand, each company, they have their own agencies that they are working with. They have their freelancer team that they are working with. How can we convince them that this is the best, not just for them, but also for Schwabe as a global company? Because there comes changes. Accessibility Act that is changing now in June. We will need to put out a feature onto all of the 60, 70 sites like this. We cannot just otherwise Alex has to do a lot of phone calls if that would not be one platform. So I think that this photo shows it pretty well. And not to steal Alex, I think that you were one or two people to start with.
We started with 2 people.
2 people?
Today the whole team consists of 5 people, but we have still 2 people working on this project internally. And then we heavily rely on our partners from Onyx Internet for the development.
So, like you see here,
some of them here.
so but like you see here, we have here the different brands. So like it's very modular. It's built on sections. It's actually using paragraphs. So it is very modular for them to just drag and drop and put the things on wherever they want to. So therefore, in the end, it is not going to look exactly the same, right?
I think this is really important because for all marketeers, this was more or less the critical path, because they all said, okay, but we don't have this umbrella brand. We have a single brand strategy, and each and every brand has to look different because we are all so different. And this was when we came up with this approach where we said, okay, but it's possible to integrate it with this modular approach, where you have different color schemes, for example. So what you can see here, we've also implemented a design system, and this design system consists of all the elements that we have, everything, all the components that we use to set up our websites. And you can see here we have different color codes. So we have a lot of color codes already in the platform. It's about 25 color schemes or something like that currently, where whenever a country says, okay, but my color codes are slightly different maybe from the global color codes, it's possible to really adapt it in a quick way and not to work on the overall template again. Yeah.
I think that, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe to show here a little bit, like when you implement something like this, you need to have also documentation. We heard a lot about documentation today. Maybe we can get the brands to adopt that documentation. But this has been set up as a documentation for everyone who is then going to be working with web content management system. And what is very important here, this is a work in progress. Like we are big time adding pages to this. And what the team is, that Alex has, they are building these videos. And if you look at the video that is going to come, I think now soon, it is like, how do you, on the next one? So what is really important, it needs to be dummy proof. It needs to be like, how do I put in my brand logo? How do I change the color? And that they can all do. If you're a Drupal person in here, you go into into the themes and you select the brand there and you put in the logo and then voila, it's there. So I think here we have the customization of it. And these are the videos. And you see it's a 12-minute long video just explaining how you can bring your brand to life in their own way. So this has been crucial, and I think you've built 12, 20 videos.
Right now we have about 15 to 20 videos, and so for us it's a test as well. We are figuring out whether people are using it or not, whether we should stay with the documentation based on text and images. Now we have the e-learning part as well. And we will figure out what works best for the countries. So far, we received good feedback. And yeah, this really helps people to have some sort of documentation where they can just look it up again. Maybe you spin up a website once and then the next website within the next year, for example, then you might have forgotten a lot of those settings and tiny tweaks that really make a difference, whether it looks good or not. And so we try to cover this with e-learnings in this case. Yeah, that's a visualization or a screenshot from our Acquia Site Factory backend. As you can see here, we have all the websites in this case for Switzerland that we can really manage in this backend. It's also coming with a good user management that gives us the chance to have different user roles applied to different users, to really make sure that only users from Switzerland can, for example, edit the content on these pages, and that no one from Mexico, Germany, or from any other country interferes with what they are doing. So this is quite powerful for us, and it's also super easy and flexible to spin up new sites. Because as said before, we don't have internal in-house developers, or we have one since 4 weeks, but for the last 3 years, we started without having internal development resources, but still we needed to be in the driver's seat. So for example, if a colleague approaches us on a Friday afternoon and says, okay, somehow it happened, I forgot to spin up a landing page for some event or whatever, we need to react quickly, and we need to be able to react by ourselves and not to rely on an agency to spin up a website for us. They have a lot of stuff to do. We have a lot of features in our backlog that we want to develop, but spinning up a website should be something that we can do ourselves. And this is where our Site Factory really has its benefits and really adds value for us. Because as you can see here, the only thing that you have to do is click on a button, say create new website, give it a name, and as soon as you click on create site, then it takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and the whole process will be, or the whole magic will happen in the background, and you end up with a complete setup of a Drupal website that you then can hand over to an editor already. So this speeds up the process significantly for us, because back in the days when we had freelancers and several agencies involved, it took weeks, maybe even months, until we could get our hands dirty in the local markets, until we received, let's say, the first draft of a website where an editor could make the last tweaks and upload content, for example. And we brought this down to 15 minutes now. So if you want to see some results, or we also want to share some results, we launched the first website in April 2022. That was just 3.5 months after the start of our development process on Acquia Site Factory. So it was super fast, I would say. And as you can see as well, we developed a lot of new things in the last couple of years. So we integrated the PIM system in 2022, the DAM in 2023, and now we have the CRM API and the connection to our CRM, as well as the conductor integration in 2024. And we have already 62 websites live. So there are some websites that already had their relaunches. In some cases, we reshuffled how the websites are set up. Sometimes we integrated 5 to 6 websites already into one. In another case, we made 3 websites out of another. So we are quite flexible with this. 9 countries are already involved. So I would say after 3 years, that's a lot, given the fact that we have 15 countries in total, and 2 countries, they don't really fit into this scheme, to be honest, because they have a consumer business and consumer business, e-commerce. And in this case, where we focus on medicine and pharmaceuticals, we are not allowed to sell direct to consumer. So these are all branding websites, that work a bit different from, let's say, an e-commerce shop. We have more than 100 users and editors. Whenever I looked in the user management, this is really something that impresses me personally, because I would have never thought of so many people working in the platform. And we also offer brand templates. So not only the modular template that we've shown in advance, but also templates with demo content, for example, or global content that is created by the global marketeers that we then can just provide to the countries, so they can have their own local website with pre-filled content in English within 15 minutes. And everything they have to do is to translate it, and then let's push it to live. And last but not least, and that's really important for me because I'm responsible for the global team, we brought down our total cost of ownership. So this is something that really is different from country to country, to be honest. So there are more advanced countries like Germany, where it was really significant, the cost saving that we could achieve. But of course, there are other countries, smaller countries. If they in the past spin up their websites with a freelancer, for example, using a WordPress with just some free template, let's say, in this case, they might not have the cost saving effect, but now they are on a completely different basis, because now they have a lot of other features and they have an enterprise level system now, which you can't compare with a WordPress out of the box installation using some sort of template that was already there, free available, and was set up within 2 or 3 days. But when it comes to cybersecurity and stuff like this, data privacy, if you raise the bar a bit and say, okay, your WordPress installation has to meet a certain quality level, then definitely the cost would go up in a way that now we have this cost reduction in total. Yeah, what we have here as well is a short video.
Today, we are proud to update you on the rollout progress of the new digital platform of the Schwabe Group.
That's what we
The
use
website
internally
ensures
as
a
well.
consistent global brand and customer experience, thereby increasing brand awareness and visibility on the internet, thus leading to increased organic traffic and leads. The system comes with a wealth of powerful features that are available to all markets. The same goes for all new developments, with accelerated time to market. Onboarding requires little effort and can be done fast. Markets can benefit from customized functionalities and localized layouts per market and brand need. Pages can be easily adjusted to cater for local regulatory needs. A central digital media library provides the assets you may need. The site is optimized for high performance and search engines, allowing for consolidated tracking of metrics. It comes with a powerful search and multilingual functionality. Integration to third-party solutions is enabled through flexible APIs. Headquarters provide timely and reliable central security and data protection updates. A special focus is provided on data privacy protection. Campaign templates ensure a consistent design. Editors can now work intuitively and no programming skills are required. Content creation remains entirely customizable and flexible. The integrated, consistent corporate design guarantees one look and feel to the customer. The project is done in partnership with the international full-service software company 1X Internet. It uses the modular Schwabe multi-site web content management system based on open source Drupal and hosted by Acquia Cloud Site Factory. Join the digital leaders now.
So this is more or less one of the pieces that we use internally for the communication, especially with the marketing teams, with people who are not really familiar with the techniques, but we have to convince them why they should join us and why they should use or adopt what we offer them as a headquarter. And I think therefore it's really sufficient and it works really, really well to generate a lot more interest and that people come to us and really proactively ask how they can join. And this is what it's all about in the end. Yeah, so we also wanted to talk a bit, or for the last 2 or 3 minutes, about the biggest challenges that we faced. And of course, as mentioned already, if people are used to working with their own local agencies, with their own local providers, with people they know for years in some cases, this is always difficult, because if you come in as a headquarter and tell them now you have to come with us and go with another solution, this needs a lot of communication. This needs a lot of also stakeholder management. You need the buy-in from your upper management. You need buy-in from the local general managers, for example, that they really support you in rolling out a system like this. And you need to really highlight all the benefits that come with a harmonized and unified approach. And this is a lot of communication to do, a lot more than we expected. For us, it was clear that we have to do a lot of communication, but even then we underestimated a bit how much communication it needed. And it's also about how to effectively use all those tools and the platform, for example, in the local markets. This also needs a lot of training. A lot of training that we try to deliver either via virtual sessions. So we have virtual sessions almost every month with the global teams, where we have beginner trainings, for example, and advanced trainings for editors. We have a share out or a global call every 2 months right now, where we share the newest developments of the platforms. What are the new features, for example? How can you use them locally? We have the e-learning videos that we shared. We have the demo website where we have a lot of content and the whole user manual, let's say, for an editor, how to set up web pages. And we also created a sandbox environment, a sandbox that is wiped out every 2 weeks, I guess, 1 or 2 weeks. And so people have this sandbox where they really can try out everything. They can work with the modules. They can really come up with crazy stuff, try it out, and they can't break anything. And I think that's also really, really important. To upskill people and to constantly communicate what's happening there. So last but not least, also the outlook. So to be honest, we are never finished, I'm sure. So the biggest things that we are focusing on right now is the implementation of a marketing automation platform. So something that can be done, maybe we'll start this year and will be implemented then at the beginning of next year or finalized at the beginning of next year. And we're also working on the development on new healthcare professional platforms, for example. We have some healthcare professional platforms with logins in place. For example, in Germany, we have about 40,000 healthcare professionals that are registered in the platform, and we have to think about how to migrate them, how to bring them to our WCMS approach, and yeah, also how to develop all the features. What are the features that we need more or less to migrate, that they work like they did before, and what are new features that we need to come up with, and to really combine this with this marketing automation approach, because this will give us the opportunity to really dig deeper into the personalization of B2B campaigns, for example. So if a doctor if a doctor does something on our website, for example, we need to track it. We need to bring the data in our CRM, make it available for our sales rep, for example. When a sales rep visits the same doctor in a couple of days or weeks, then the sales rep should definitely know what a doctor did on our website and the other way around. And I think there's a lot of things that we can work on, and I'm sure this will take 2025 for us and will be the main focus to implement this marketing automation approach. Yeah, that's it from our side so far, and I think we still have some.
Yes. We have time for a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. In the middle, Mike.
I have to stand up here with the cliff next to me. So
I was just wondering, in terms of the separates, like all these different, I don't know what you call it, all these markets you have, like these 60 markets, how much, can you put some words on the limitations of the site? Like, are they allowed to add their own modules? Are they allowed to do everything? And
not everything. So of course, we try to gather all the feature requests from the countries. So we also have a central platform. We just use Microsoft Teams, so nothing too special. That it's transparent to the whole community, that the whole group knows. Maybe if Mexico asks for a specific feature, then the Germans can see and say, okay, we want something similar, but maybe we need an additional tweak. And if it's relevant to us and we say, okay, this really adds value to the whole distribution, then it will be developed and implemented. In some cases, we also have discussions with countries where we really challenge them whether the tool that they want to implement is the right solution or if we should go for something else. But we also have some solutions that are only in place for one single country. That's also possible. So it really depends on the use case.
But does Mexico then have to talk to you first before getting it in their website, or how? Like, what is stopping the Mexico site from doing something crazy and moving in a
user
completely different
management is
direction?
stopping it because the user roles are stopping them from going completely crazy. So yeah, the basic process is they approach us. We are talking about the features. Then if we need 1x Internet, we bring them in as well. Have this joint conversation, and then it's developed.
Okay, so there is limitations in that.
There are limitations, but this also leads to a lot of benefits as well. Because whenever Mexico implements something, all the other countries can use the same modules afterwards again as well. So, and we only have to make sure that it's something that is scalable.
Cool. Thank you.
Any more questions? Joseph?
Just a reminder, there's also a module for Q&A in the app, so for the future sessions, you can ask them also remotely. And then
Sorry, maybe I missed it. Did you talk about how you do translations? Do you do it mostly on the system or with an external service?
We have done both, to be honest. So we have some experience with the module where we downloaded more or less the whole texts, provided it to an external translation provider, and then re-uploaded it again. I think it was in Switzerland.
Translation management system in Drupal.
But in many cases, it's just editors working on the text, clicking on edit, copy pasting, adapting the content to their needs. Because in most cases, it's not just the text, because people in Mexico, for example, they don't want to see the blonde German woman on the website. So maybe you have to include also cultural aspects in images and stuff. So you have to work on the content anyway.
Thanks.
All right, I think we are, we are around, so we're not going anywhere, but there are more sessions coming up. And just to give you a short highlight of the sessions that we are going to be bringing in. So just now at 4:30, we are going to be talking about front-end editing, content templates, how the editor can actually do better. So this is all the stuff that they are using in Schwabe. Then after that, we are talking about AI with Drupal, using LLM technology, and actually showing a lot of stuff, how you can use your own content to build good chatbots and stuff. Tomorrow morning, we are talking about non-code contribution, how you can get involved if you are interested in getting to know that. We are part of the Promote Drupal initiative, so we're going to be in a panel there as well. And then we are also part of the Drupal Core initiative leads, talking about Drupal CMS, where we are leading the advanced search track, and many things more. So last but not the least, my favorite session, this is actually the session that we got in as sponsors, but this is so, we have trying to pitch it for many years. Hidden Diamonds, the best less known Drupal modules you want to add to your website. Where are the modules that we don't know of, but they are highly useful? Check that out on Thursday in the afternoon. So links are going to be available. It's all going to come on the app. Contribution happening. Make sure you do all of that. You heard it before. And please fill out the session survey. So, I'm just very careful of time because I think the next session is going to start. So please fill out the individual survey on the app. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.